Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day's going wonderful. I'm so glad you're joining me today. Today we're playing with pattern paper. We're using the Serendipity 12x12 Collection kit. It's from Photoplay, and I also want to mention I've already created cards with this kit. So if you want some more inspiration, I'll link that video at the end. I created 3 projects with this. This is such a fun kit, and there's lots of fun elements. The last time that I created with it, I used the coordinating stamp set. Today I'm going to be using something extra special. I have here the Serendipity tag die set. Now this is great on its own because you have 3 different reinforcements here. And then these are sentiment strips. You have a block, you have a fishtail, and then you have a scalloped. These are great for sentiments or even adding little extras on your card. This is, I mentioned, great on its own, but the special thing about this is it will coordinate with the Serendipity's titles paper. This is a lot like the Photoplay Paper's dies paper, that you have the coordinating dies that you can cut out the images where you don't have to do no coloring. This is super similar. This tag set will cut out all 5 of these tags. So it just makes it really super easy. And then these sentiment strips will cut out the sentiments over here on the left and the right. It's called title papers because of course you have the large titles for scrapbooking. But some of them you could probably actually fit like on a landscape style card if you cut this in half. So there's lots of options with this paper. It's sold individually. It's a 12x12 sheet. The back side's blank. But I'll link this down below if you want to check it out. We're going to create some 5-minute makes with the Serendipity 12x12 pattern papers, a few stickers, and then also our titles paper. So let's jump in and get started. We're going to start by die cutting out my tags and also my sentiments here. This is what the tag die looks like. It has a hole that will punch out for you. The nice thing is when you line this up, you have a little bit of leadway as far as the edge goes. You don't have to line it up exactly perfect because when you die cut this out, the negative is going to have a little bit of the color of the tag. So that's what I mean. You're going to have a little bit of an extra room when you die cut this out, and I love that. And the same goes with the sentiment strips. So I am going to die cut out this reinforcement, and we'll die cut out some tags and some sentiments. I'm going to trim away the tags that we're going to create with. I also want to mention that this is nice heavy-duty cardstock. Let me, you hear that? It's nice heavy-duty. So if you wanted to actually use these for birthday tags or just because tag, you can very well do that also. My die cutting is all done. So I have my 2 tags. Super easy to die cut. I also have 2 sentiments. One says "You rock" and the other says "Thank you." And then I have 2 of my little scallop borders and then 2 white reinforcements. I'm going to put these off to the side, and then I'm going to trim down some pattern papers. The pattern papers that I'm going to be using today are bright and vibrant. I have Just Imagine, One of a Kind, and Find and Dandy. I trim mine in half. I always say this, but it makes it easier for me to do my trimming for my card bases. And I mentioned these sheets individually because your favorite craft store, most of your favorite craft stores have these individually. So that's nice too if you're on a budget. For my first card, I trimmed down a piece of this pattern paper. It measures 3 3/4 inches wide by 5 inches tall. We're going to go ahead and adhere that to the front of an A2 size card base. Pattern paper is adhered. This piece here is from the Photoplay Paper's nested bookplate die set. This is the 3rd size down, and it comes really close to being the same shape as my tag here, which I really like. I like layers on my card. So we're going to mat our tag on this piece here. Before we do that, we're going to add our reinforcement, and I'm just going to use my tape runner for this. And then I'll flip it around the back. And I'll take some white twine. I'm going to thread it through my tag here. I'll flip this around. I'll add a generous amount of adhesive, and then we're going to tack this, matting it on our white background. I'm going to use my paper trimmer and trim off a 1/2 inch off of the bottom here. About a 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to use some foam tape and we'll pop this up for a little bit of dimension. I'm going to go ahead and place this all the way to the bottom of my tag, about a 1/2 inch from the left of my card base. And then I'll tie my bow. For my sentiment, I'm going to layer both of these sentiments together, and then I'll tack them to the top of my scallop. And I'm going to layer these so they're overhanging just slightly towards the bottom here. The nice thing about having plaid in the background is the lines will help you get everything straight. And then for finishing touches, I'm going to bring in some gems. We're going to add a little bit of sparkle. There's some flower centers on this butterfly, and we will go ahead and fill those in. And that will finish off this card. I'm going to move along to our next card. Now for my next card, we're going to do the same thing with our reinforcement. We'll add some tape behind it. But for this one, I'm going to go ahead and add some black twine. Since we have some bright colors in here, I always like to add black when I can, because it just makes those bright colors pop out even more. We'll thread this through here, and I'll set this aside. I have some pattern paper. This measures 3 inches wide by 4 1/4 inches tall, and then I have a strip of the yellow paper. This measures 3 inches wide by 1 inch tall. I'm going to add some adhesive. We're going to layer this at the very bottom. I'll take this panel. I'm going to go ahead and mat that on some black cardstock. You can see those colors just pop. I'll take this panel and I'm going to add this. We're going to do lots of layering for this. I'm going to add this to a panel that measures 3 3/4 inches wide by 5 inches tall. Kind of framing it in. We'll take this and put this on our card base. In our sticker sheet, we have a border. This is like a notebook border. I'm going to trim down a piece here. I don't need a lot of it. And I'll use this to cover the seam. Just kind of layering them all together. Any excess overhanging, I'll trim off with my scissors. I put foam adhesive behind my tag. I'm going to remove the release paper, and this is going to go right in the middle. Our bow's tied, and in our sticker sheet there is a sentiment. It says, "Today I celebrate you," and I already put some foam tape behind here. And I'm going to shorten this a little bit. So just using my scissors, I'm going to trim off the fishtail that's on the left and the right. I want to make this a little bit shorter. And then I'll place this over the candles right in the middle. And then for this card, we're going to add a few stars here. And that will finish off my second card today. Some quick and easy 5-minute makes using the Photoplay Paper's Serendipity 12x12 collection, and also the 12x12 sheet of the Titles paper. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a fabulous day. We will see you soon.